Ever drive across a bridge, right? And you're like, man, I hope someone checked if those metal things are, connected properly.
You're not alone in thinking about that. It's actually way more important than most people realize.
Yeah. And that's what we're diving into today. This whole world of welding inspection. It's like essential, right, for basically everything.
It really is. And we're not just talking about bridges or buildings anymore. This stuff is everywhere. Aerospace, robotics, even think about renewable energy.
It's true. All those super high-tech industries, they need welding, and someone's got to make sure those welds are, well, perfect.
Exactly. And that's where a welding inspector comes in. They're the ones ensuring those welds can handle the pressure, literally.
Like they're kind of like the unsung heroes of like construction and manufacturing and all that. That's why this RoleCatcher guide you shared is so helpful.
It is a great resource.
It really breaks it down what a welding inspector actually does. I mean, we're talking the tools, the reports, the whole 9 yards. It's a lot more than just looking at a weld and saying, yep, that looks good.
It's true, there's a lot more to it. It's about understanding the science behind it. They're responsible for quality assurance, for making sure everything meets these really strict safety standards.
Right, because a bad weld, I mean, that's not just an inconvenience. That could be like a disaster waiting to happen. You're really talking about public safety here.
Absolutely. It's a huge responsibility.
Plus, and this is cool, it's not like a one-size-fits-all kind of career. I mean, the guide mentioned work environments from like construction sites to these really high-tech labs. It's got variety.
Definitely. And speaking of a good fit, right, let's talk about whether this career path is something you'd actually enjoy, something that aligns with what you're looking for.
Yeah, let's get into that. Because honestly, when I hear welding inspector, the first thing that pops into my head is job security. People will always need things welded, right?
You're spot on, and RoleCatcher's data actually backs that up. They're projecting a 15% growth in this field over the next decade.
15%. Wow, that's like more than double the average for most jobs.
It is.
Okay, so job security, check. What about the financial side of things?
The earning potential is excellent. The guide mentioned a median salary that's significantly higher than the national average, and that's just for starters. As you gain experience, there's a lot of room to grow, move up to senior inspector roles, even management positions.
Okay, so we've got high demand, great earning potential. This is already sounding pretty good. But what about the work itself? Is it actually, engaging? Our listeners, I think they'd want to know more about that.
Yeah, and you'd be right. What's really interesting about welding inspection is that it appeals to both the hands-on doers and the analytical minds. You're out there using specialized tools, reading blueprints, making critical decisions based on your observations.
It's true. It's not just like, oh, look at that weld. There's a lot of problem solving involved, right? You've really got to use your brain.
Absolutely.
You're not just stuck at a desk all day, which, let's be real, no one wants that. You're out there working with your hands, making sure that everything is up to code.
It's a career where you can really see the impact of what you're doing, every day. But like any job, it's not all sunshine and roses.
The guy did mention some challenges, like dealing with hazardous materials sometimes. And it can be pretty physically demanding.
Right. You're not always going to be in that perfectly climate-controlled lab setting, that's for sure. But you know what? Those challenges, they kind of add to the whole appeal, don't they? You're always on your toes, learning new things, figuring out how to deal with different situations.
I think so. It's all about perspective, right? Taking those cons and kind of reframing them as opportunities for growth.
Right.
And speaking of growth, that's where RoleCatcher really shines, in my opinion. They don't just throw a bunch of information at you and then disappear. They actually give you the tools to help you build a career in this field.
Okay, I'm intrigued. How do they do that?
Well, for starters, they have this thing called the Job Spec Analysis tool. It's amazing. It's like, imagine having a cheat sheet, but for your career.
Okay, I like where this is going. It breaks down all the specific skills that employers are looking for in a welding inspector. No more guessing games, You know exactly what you need to put on your resume, what to talk about in your interviews.
So you're not wasting time applying for jobs that you're not even qualified for.
Exactly. You're targeting the right opportunities from the get-go.
That's huge. It's like RoleCatcher's giving you a head start before you even apply for a single job.
And that's not all. They also have this incredible feature called Scored CV Resume. Basically, you upload your resume, and their AI, it analyzes it against those specific job requirements that we were just talking about. And then, get this, it gives you a score.
A score, like how well your resume stacks up.
Exactly. So you know if you need to make any tweaks or adjustments. No more wondering if your resume is good enough, You've got actual data to work with.
I love that, taking the guesswork out of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say you've used their tools, you got a killer resume, you know exactly what skills to highlight. Now what?
The interview. And let me tell you, RoleCatcher, they really brought their A game here. They've got this massive database of practice interview questions, over 120,000.
120,000.
Seriously.
I know, it's mind-blowing. You could literally practice for years and still not see all of them.
So you're saying there's no excuse to walk into an interview unprepared?
Exactly. But it's not just about memorizing answers. That's not really helpful in the long run. RoleCatcher takes it a step further, though. They have this AI-powered feedback system.
Oh, tell me more about that.
So you practice answering these questions, and their system, it actually listens to your responses and analyzes them. And then it gives you personalized tips and suggestions. It's like having a career coach right there in your pocket.
Okay, that's seriously cool. It's like having a secret weapon to boost your confidence and just really nail those interviews.
Exactly. And once you land that job, RoleCatcher doesn't abandon you. They help you visualize where you can go from there. They've actually mapped out the different stages of a welding inspector's career, so you can see all the potential paths you can take. So it's not just about getting that first job, it's about understanding how you can grow and advance within that field.
Exactly. And that's what I think is so appealing about this career, especially for, our listeners who are always looking to learn and grow and expand their skill set.
And it's not just about climbing the career ladder, right? There's something like truly inspiring about the work itself, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just think about it for a second. You'd be playing a part in making sure that the buildings we're in, the bridges we drive across, even the airplanes we fly in, they're all, put together properly. It's a huge responsibility.
You're not just inspecting metal, you're contributing to the safety of, like, everyone around you.
That's a great way to put it. You're helping to ensure that things don't, fall apart.
And in a world that's constantly building and innovating,
Yeah.
that seems more important than ever.
It really is. As we rely more and more on these complex structures and systems, the demand for, really skilled welding inspectors is only going to grow.
So for anyone listening who's maybe looking for a career that combines, like, hands-on skills with, really making a difference, welding inspection could be that hidden gem they've been searching for.
I think so. It's a field with so much potential, both for personal growth and career advancement. It's a win-win.
It really is. And it's been amazing to, kind of demystify this whole career path with you today. But what's really exciting is that our listeners don't have to figure this all out on their own, right?
That's the beauty of it.
RoleCatcher's got all those tools and resources to help guide them every step of the way.
Exactly. From understanding what employers are looking for to, acing that interview and then building a successful career, they've got you covered.
So if you're ready to take the plunge, check out RoleCatcher, right? Start exploring the world of welding inspection. You might just be surprised at what you discover.